major chord his love, and she got it right. What she played it on came from the light.
Welcome to Grandma's Journals. This channel began with a collection of handwritten journals, pages filled with everyday moments, quiet faith, family stories, and a kind of wisdom that only comes from a life well lived. These journals belong to my Grandma Peggy. Inside them are her thoughts, her prayers, her joys, and her struggles. Moments that may have felt ordinary at the time, but now feel priceless. My hope is that as you listen, you'll feel connected to her story and maybe even your own. Thanks for being here. This is Grandma's Journal.
The beauty of the song is joy in her eyes. The major chord is love, and she got it right.
Hello, family. Welcome back to another episode of Grandma's Journals. We just got home from church and my husband still has like 3 hours of meetings left. So I was like, what a perfect time to come out and get an episode recorded. So, we finished up with 1981 in our last episode. So we're going to jump in 1982, and read all the fun things. I know we have a couple cousins being born this year, so we're gonna find out what else happened in 1982 in the life of Grandma Peggy and her family. All right, so we will jump right in. January 1982. We had been celebrating New Year's with a progressive dinner for the whole ward. We started at Brother Rufus D'Albany's house. Oh, I remember him. I don't remember if it's when we moved there or maybe we went to visit. I don't remember. Obviously, I was really young, like 5. But I remember going and like staying at his house. And that was when Elfrida, you only had to dial 4 numbers to call somebody. Like you didn't have to dial, the 642. You just had to dial the last 4 numbers. I don't know why that's something that sticks in my brain, but it does. So anyways. Started at Rufus D'Albany's house for canapes, which I didn't know what canapes were. I had to look that up, but I guess it's like a little finger food with like crackers and stuff. Anyways, and sherbet drinks. Then we went to Brother and Sister King's for salads, then to Brother and Sister Jackson's for the main course, which was barbecue roast, then to Brother and Sister Bruner's for pie and ice cream. That all sounds fantastically delicious right now because I'm starving. Okay, January 9th, 1982. The new year started out great. Jim and Jeanette went through the temple on the 9th and had their children sealed to them. How beautiful it was to see these darling grandchildren sealed to their parents for time and all eternity. All of the children came in except Tanner. We waited, and finally he came in, all smiles. He had lost his bow tie and didn't want to come in until he found his tie and had it on. They were sealed in the Mesa Temple. How sweet to have all the children sealed to them in the Mesa Temple. I think several of us were sealed to our families in the Mesa Temple, whether it's to our parents or I know some of us cousins got married in the Mesa Temple. I did, and I know my sister did, and my other sister did, and anyway, so the Mesa Temple definitely holds a special place in many of our hearts for sure. So that is absolutely awesome that they were able to get sealed. And then on January 24th, another special occasion. Clint James Hargrave turned 8 years old and was baptized by his father, James Allen Hargrave, in the Elfrida Ward on January 24th, 1982. Jim forgot to call him by name and he had to be dunked again, and it was ice cold. There was no heater to heat the water. Clint wasn't too happy about that, but was happier when he went home and had ice cream and cake to help him celebrate. We gave Clint his scriptures for his birthday. He loves to read and knows a lot about the scriptures. His mom and dad bought him his first wristwatch, and his uncle Steve Hunt talked at his baptism. So the first grandchild has gotten baptized, and I think probably all of us grandchildren, all of us cousins, we probably all got our very first set of scriptures from Grandma and Grandpa when we turned 8 and got baptized. So I still have mine. I don't use them anymore because my sister Chelsea, I'm just kidding, she accidentally threw a wet bathing suit on them and all the pages got soaking wet. So now my quad scriptures that I got for my 8th birthday is like 3 times the size that it should be because all the pages got soaking wet. But I keep it. I kept it. I still have it. But I did have to get a new set of scriptures. So, sisters, just kidding. I love you, Chelsea. It's fine. It's fine. All right. February 1982. February 5th and 6th, Jeanette and the boys came and stayed the weekend because Jeanette and I had a yard sale. Friday night, as the boys were getting in bed, the 2 older boys slept in the front bedroom, which is the coldest room in the house. So I had an electric blanket on that bed. Justin was in the other bedroom with his mom. He is almost 4, and he was crying and wouldn't stop. He wanted an electric blanket to sleep under. Nothing we told him would shut him up. So I remembered an old cord I had with the control on it. We put him in bed, hooked the cord to the bed, plugged it in, let him turn it to the number he wanted, and it really worked. In a little while, he said to turn it down because he was too hot. I remember reading that the first time, and I got a good laugh at it. I never lied to him. I just went through the motions, and he did the rest, but went to sleep a happy, satisfied boy. I hooked it to the bed, so it was not plugged into anything. Isn't it amazing what we can trick our little minds to think? Sweet Justin just wanted that dang electric blanket, and in his mind, he got it. I thought that was a cute story. All right, March 1st, 1982. I know what day this is. I got a telephone call about noon on Monday from Brad Lester. He is Jennifer's brother, so that's my uncle. To come quick because Jennifer was having her baby. When I arrived with my daughter, Jeanette Hargrave, Jennifer was on the bed with pains 5 minutes apart. We told her she had better get going because she had an almost 60-mile drive to Benson. She wanted to wait for Steve. He was in Douglas, 25 miles away. Jennifer's mom arrived and we sent them both on their way. The doctor, Eric Anderson, told her to stop by the clinic and let the nurse check her before she went to the hospital because Eric was sick with the flu and wanted to get another doctor. So they stopped at the clinic and she was ready to have that baby. They knew she would never make it to the hospital. In the meantime, Stephen Lee Hunt, her husband, came home and we told him to hurry or she would have the baby before he got there. They were going to have it natural and he was supposed to help. He did make it in time to barely help with the last few pushes and out she came, a beautiful little daughter. They named her Stephanie Lee after her daddy. Jennifer was home in a couple of hours and we are so glad to have this beautiful granddaughter. So that is my older sister, Stephanie, better known as Stevie. Like, who's Stephanie? Anyway, so that is the day that sweet Stevie was born. And so my mom's second baby, but my mom and dad's first baby together. So sweet little Stevie. And I do have a picture of her that I'll throw up here. All right, April 3rd, 1982. April 3rd was a Hunt reunion at Safford City Park. It was fun, and I am beginning to learn what kids belong to what family. Sometimes that is hard. I do know that. Our daughter, Lori Fricky, couldn't be there because it was too close for her baby to be here to travel, but the rest of the family was there. Stephen, Jennifer, Tabitha, and Stephanie Lee Hunt. Also, Jeanette, Jim, Clint, Tanner, Justin, and Brooke Ann Hargrave. Jeanette and I and the 3 boys went roller skating. Clint and I had a race. I think he was surprised that a 47-year-old grandmother could beat him. Of course, he fell down just before the finish line. We had a beautiful meal and family pictures were taken of each family. Prizes were given. It was a really nice day. Fix a typo there. Prizes. On April 15th, Steve and Jennifer moved to Apache Junction. Steve got a job framing. We hated to see them go, but wish the best for them. We will miss seeing them and the girls, but hope we can communicate often. April 21st. Our daughter Lori had her first baby, Cameron Eric Fricky, 7 pounds, 11 and a half ounces. He was born on a Wednesday. She waited several years before this special event happened. She is 27 years old and so thrilled over this beautiful event in her life. Bill Fricky, the proud father, was right by her side through the whole thing, and they have a beautiful baby, and we have a darling grandson, our 7th grandchild. So 2 more sweet little babies born into the family. And here's a picture of Cameron when he was little. All right, May 9th, 1982. Alec and I had our 29th wedding anniversary, and it was also Mother's Day. Jeanette and Jim invited us over for dinner, and then we visited Alex's mom for a while, and when we came home, I called my mom, Mary Latimer. She had a real nice day, and all her kids came to see her, so I felt better that even though I couldn't be there, she had a nice day. We did no celebration for our anniversary, but 29 years have been wonderful and very special. May 22nd, 1982. Alec and I went to the Sunsites Ward to attend Sunday school in Sacrament. Our stake leaders were there to present the new branch president and a new counselor. We got a call that Jim Hargrave was supposed to be there at 9 a.m., so we decided that we should go. We had kept all 4 kids for the weekend, so it was quite a job to get 4 kids ready for church, pack up all their stuff, and get them to church on time. I got to hand it to my daughter Jeanette. She has her hands full. Anyway, Dr. Eric Anderson, the one that had just birthed Stevie, or I guess couldn't because he was sick with the flu that should have birthed Stevie, was put in as branch president, Lane Stewart as first counselor, and James Hargrave as second counselor. Jim has only been a member a little over 4 years, so we are so proud of him and the progress he has made. He is a real special son-in-law, and we have really learned to love and appreciate him for the man he is. So super awesome. Uncle Jim got called to the branch presidency. June 1982. Before we moved to Elfrida, it had been a practice of mine to make wedding gowns for every girl who went through the temple, and I made the same offer to the young ladies in the Elfrida ward. My first gown was for Valerie Peavy, whose wedding in the temple was June 12th. How special these girls are when they are married for time and all eternity. How special to all those girls that got dresses made from Grandma. That's awesome. I love that. July 1982, Brooke Ann Hargrave was 1 year old on July 5th. Also, it was Alec's mom's 25th wedding anniversary. We celebrated with a surprise party and all her children here to help them celebrate. She has been married to Arthur A. McCullough since July 5th, 1957. August 11th. August was a busy month with weddings, birthdays, and showers. August 10th, Alec performed his second marriage for Inez Bruner and a Coker boy. It was a nice wedding taking place in the bride's home, but a sad occasion. The bride, a member of the church, and a member of the church and a non-member. She had strayed from the church and wound up pregnant and married the boy, not knowing for sure if she loved him or not. She was also one of my mutual girls. I talked to her many times and pleaded for her to come back into activity. You hate to see these young girls ruin their life, and I think a part of me goes with her because I feel so responsible for the youth. August 11th, Stephen Lee Hunt, our son, celebrated his 25th birthday. Our youngest daughter, Lori Fricky, gave him a surprise party in Mesa. I did not get to attend, but we called and they all had a lot of fun. Our daughter Jeanette Hargrave and her family were there to help him celebrate. I learned a new craft called glass etching on mirrors. It was lots of fun, and I always have fun if I am serving or doing crafts. And that is obviously something we know that Grandma has carried with her entire life, because I think we all have a piece of Grandma's art in our home somewhere. All right, continuing on. I also helped our youth this morning with bake sales and a carnival to help pay their way to camp. August 31st, Alec and I went to Tucson to get supplies to start remodeling our upstairs bedroom. We have a dream to remodel this old house and make it into our dream home. All right, September 1982. September was rather quiet with kids all settled back to school and my seminary kids well into the Book of Mormon, and Sister Ella Gilmore and myself made new drapes for the chapel and the recreation hall, plus some of the classrooms. We put in many hours of sewing, but everything looked so nice when we were through. September 30th. Stephen Lee Hunt and his family, Jennifer, Tabitha, and Stephanie, came to spend the week with us. Thursday morning, September 30th, our little dog kept barking. He always barks, but somehow this bark was different. I went out the back door and took about 4 steps, looked up, and about 6 feet away, a big black bear met me face to face. And I do have a picture of this bear coming right out of the tree in our backyard. I screamed, ran in the house, told everybody, and then went out the front door and followed it down the lane. He climbed one of the trees and stayed there until the game warden came and tranquilized him. He fell out of the tree and they caught him in a net, took him off to the mountains and turned him loose. Well, the pioneers have nothing on us. We had deer, pigs, rabbits, coyotes, and yes, even bears. Oh, so many fun things when you live out in, country land. All right, October 1982. Except for birthdays, October was a quiet month. We celebrated Alec's mom's birthday on the 6th, Jim and Jeanette on the 20th and 28th, my mother's on the 30th. Halloween has also ceased in many parts of the United States. There are so many weird people that love to destroy people's lives, so parents are afraid to let their kids out unless they are supervised or taken to homes of people they know. We had about 10 kids that we knew. They looked so cute in their little costumes, and they have so much fun. I wish kids could just grow up with all the fun and laughter and joy, and people would help make it fun for every kid on earth. But I guess we have to have opposition in all things to make us appreciate the good things. Somewhere around the 1st of November, we had a young boy move in with us by the name of Bartlett Robbins. They called him Bart. Alec and I had talked about this before. We had 2 other girls move in with us. The first one was Danelle Nelson. She was in our ward. She was really good, but was really lazy and didn't even clean her room. And then the next year, we had another girl move in, a non-member, Chris Hardy. She was ambitious, clean, and neat, but certainly didn't keep the church standards and ran with a pretty rough crowd. We never knew when she was coming home or if she was even coming home. Twice the police brought her home because I called them when she didn't come home. I was upset every time she left. I stayed in knots until she got back. She was only 15 and her parents didn't seem to care. They never offered to pay for anything or even come and see her. Well, we decided that the only way anyone would move in with us again would be to live by our rules and pay $200 a month room and board. Well, we figured $200 would scare off most people, but not Bart. He gets $400 a month from Social Security because his father died. He tried real hard to get along with his stepdad, but decided he needed to move out. Well, his stepdad kicked him out. He asked us if he could move in. We told him how much and what the rules were, and he said, okay. We get along great, and he follows the rules to the letter. It's great to have a teen in the house again and keep up with all the things that teens go through. We have been remodeling the house and trying to get the upstairs finished for Christmas. We've been working every day, plumbing, painting, sanding, staining, varnishing, and also trying to get ready for Christmas. All the kids will be here except Steve and Jennifer. Thanksgiving was the smallest we've had in many years. Ruth and Clark Hunt, Blanche and Doc McCullough, Alec and I, and Bart. It was a small bunch, but we had a nice dinner and enjoyed each other's company. It was the first time that none of the kids were home for Thanksgiving. Lori and Bill stayed in Mesa. Jim and Jeanette went to the Hargraves in Phoenix, and Steve hurt his eye on the job and had to stay flat on his back for 5 days. We kept close tabs on him until the worst part was over. We also celebrated Alec's dad's birthday on the 24th. All right, December 1982. How fast the year went. We are still trying to get things done upstairs before Christmas. We went to Tucson on the 8th and ordered our carpet. They came and laid it on the 15th, and we moved upstairs on the 18th. I was busy sewing for Christmas till last week. My sewing machine went out 3 days before, so my sewing didn't get finished. But my seminary check came in, so we finished our Christmas shopping a few days before Christmas. Bill and Lori came about 5 p.m. on the 24th. We celebrated Lori's birthday with Jeanette and her 4 kids, and the next day we had Christmas with Doc and Blanche, Ruth and Clark, Lori and Bill Fricky, and Cameron and Bart. His family was all sick in bed, so he stayed here. Then we all went to Jim and Jeanette's and had Christmas and finger foods to munch on all day. Lori got me a beautiful picture for my bathroom, and Jeanette made me a beautiful wall hanging out of macrame to hang in my new bedroom. Lori made Alec a beautiful clock out of ceramics, and then she hand carves them. Lori taught Stephen how to carve pots, and he made us a beautiful hand-carved pot and did a beautiful job. We love getting these homemade gifts. We know the kids work hard, and we enjoy their talents, and most of all, their sweet spirits and the love they share with us. Our most prized gift that our kids give us are our grandchildren. So sweet and so special and lovable. And the last entry for 1982 is December 31st. We shared an evening with the youth by starting at the church and going to Ruth Thompson's for salads, then to Alec and I for the main course, and out to Ellis Gilmore's for dessert, games, and dancing. We had 52 people and stayed and welcomed the new year with raspberry punch. Such fun and such a sweet spirit from a bunch of swell kids. Happy New Year. All right, so that's a wrap on 1982. Some fun, exciting things happened in that year with new grandbabies and all the celebrations. I absolutely love it. I hope you guys are enjoying hearing Grandma's journal entries as much as I love reading them. And it is seriously such a joy for me to be able to share them with you guys. I was very grateful when I talked with Grandma and she gave me permission to go ahead and share them. So I hope that everyone is enjoying them as much as I do. So we will end there for today. And then next time we will jump into 1983.